Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. So viewers, as we go straight into the news tonight, former opposition Senator Jayanti Lakshmidal Ramdiyal is being tipped by UNC source to sit as the president of the Senate when the new parliament terms open. The opposition of Prime Minister, opposition leader, and the president are all currently held by women. Lakshmidal Ramdiyal, an attorney who served in the Senate from 2020 to 2025, said there has been no discussion to date. Lakshmidal screened for both the San Fernando West seat in which she resides and Naparima, but was unsuccessful in both. Politician Wade Mark is also being looked at to fill the post of Speaker of the House of Representatives. Mark, who first entered the Senate while in opposition in 1990, is one of the longest serving members in the upper house, having served in the 4th, 6th, 5th, 8th, 9th, and 11th Parliament up until 2010. So Trinidad and Tobago, tip lights, step rights, and Lakshmidal and Mark may sit in the House of Representatives when it is open. Two individuals that will fight for Trinidad and Tobago, two individuals who has not been biased, two individuals who ask PNM administration a lot of questions with no answers returning. We have seen that right here. Right here we have seen that. So Trinidad and Tobago tonight, I am saying, I hope these two do get to sit in the parliament. Maybe the PNM administration will get a little taste of their own medicine, so to speak. But nevertheless, they are both educated, been around the parliament, they know the do's and the don'ts, they know what the country needs. So I believe we should give them a chance. Mark, who has been in the House on many occasions, been members of Parliament many occasions, have spoken outrightly. I believe he is the perfect man for the job. Moving along. Senate, the Honorable Satya Kama Maharaj, Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, and Senator the Honorable Philip Alexander, Minister in the Ministry of Housing, was sworn in earlier this afternoon at the President's House in St. Anne's. Speaking to the media, Minister Alexander explained that an evaluation must first be done within the ministry before any steps can be taken. He, however, mentioned that over hundreds of persons are on a waiting list for housing accommodation. Alexander.
We are conscious that people have been on a list for decades, doing whatever they had to do to try and see how they could get the assistance to own a home. We want to get crime down. We need to put more families in homes, and this ministry is the place to do it. There are a lot of unfinished projects. We're going to be paying attention to those, and we're going to be starting up new projects where they need to be. I look forward to working with the substantive minister and the other minister in the ministry.
When asked about the plans for unfurnished projects and unfinished contracts, this is what the minister had to say.
Well, I'm sure Honorable David Lee, Minister, is already looking at that. Those issues will be decided within the ministry when we get a chance to look at what we're talking about.
Minister Kama Maraj said he plans to firstly meet with his ministry and notes the business community is at the top of his agenda. Kama.
You have to focus on making it the easiest place in the world to do business. You must have an objective. It's all geared towards an overarching objective of diversifying the economy. And you want to diversify the economy in the manufacturing sector, investment, and make tourism a major pillar of diversification.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, experience in business, experience in the House of Representatives. Knowledge is power, so they say. But listening to the people and listening to the cries of the people, not everyone gets that. Not everyone gets that. So the new government is sworn in. And still there are some people on social media platform, as we would say, starting to bash the government already. They want this, they want that, they want the next. You know what I don't understand is why they wasn't demanding the PNM administration who was there for 9 years. This is what I'm not understanding. We had 9 years of the PNM administration. Nobody demanded anything. UNC won on the 28th, let's say the 29th of April. Today is the 6th or the 7th of May, I believe. The 7th of May, just a few days now. Ministers are still being sworn in. And the people are already demanding what you're really demanding. What actually are you demanding? Fear is fear. What exactly are you demanding? When the PNM administration went into power, Dr. Rowley said we have money to run the country for 3 days. 3 days. But $2.6 billion is unaccounted for. Nobody said anything. Nobody had demanded where $2.6 billion gone. Nobody had demanded better hospital. Nobody had demanded better schools. But an administration is still swearing in ministers. And some citizens, some groups are already demanding. We had a government there for 9 years and you all demanded nothing. Because Dr. Rowley said, wean off the government. Wean off the government. I am just reminding you all of what took place. I'm bashing you, I'm reminding you. But for some of you, I haven't heard you all for years. All of a sudden, your sleeping pill wear out and you get up. Sad, yes? It's sad. But nevertheless, I would listen to you all made yourself fools. Not because your sleeping tablet now wear out, you know. Apparently when they wear out, you get up stupid. That is the case. But nevertheless, after a special General Council session held on Tuesday, Dr. Nayan Gasby Dolly is now officially chairman of the People's National Movement, while Clongenberg holds the position of vice chairman. It was a close call for Gasby Dolly as she defeated Port of Spain Mayor Mr. Allen, receiving 60 to 58 votes for the position of chairman. Mbud was unopposed as there are 4 spoiled ballots. Speaking to the media, Mbut explained the reason he did not went after, I should say, or for the chairman position, and said he will not be contesting in the next internal election. Let's hear what Mbut had to say.
I did not go for the position of chairman because I felt it is time for the younger people in the party to come forward, and I will not be contesting a position in the next internal election. Okay? I will wait for whoever is appointed leader and see whether that person in their wisdom may wish to ask me to be a deputy political leader. But I won't be contesting chairman, vice chairman, or any position. I think it's time for younger people and fresh faces to come forward and take over the leadership of the PNM.
What an embarrassment right here. What an embarrassment. You should have said, just how you said that going forward you will not contest any seats or any position. You should have said that before you entered. Like I said, you all have embarrassed Trinidad and Tobago. Now you're embarrassing the position of the vice chairman. And you're embarrassing who again? Gatsby Dolly, who sat right next to you. Trying to make a UNC, how she looking at Clongenbut? She looking at Clongenbut and is like, so why the hell you didn't say that before? Would I find somebody else? Hey, they're good, yes? They're good. They're real good. They're real good. Gatsby Dolly said she was pleased to have been selected as a party goes through a transition. Gatsby Dolly.
I want to thank the General Counsel for the confidence reposed in me to serve as the chairman during this very critical time in the PNM's transition as we look forward towards the organization of our internal election, where we will fill the, of course, political leader position that is very critical to be filled as we move into opposition and organize ourselves to be the formidable opposition that we expect to be as we wait to assume our position as the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
So we welcome Gatsby Dolly as the chairman of the PNM administration. But Clongenbut, let me tell you something. I realize that you ain't really care if you embarrass yourself or not. I realize that. Over the years, I've been noticing that. But it's stinking sad that you sit there being the vice chairman and utter words of disgrace, dissatisfaction, embarrassment. You should have just stepped out and let her pick somebody new. Simple as that. I could imagine how bad Gatsby Dolly feeling there, boy. I could only imagine how bad she feeling. You put up yourself a position, they select you. Now you're saying, well, one set of nonsense? Nah, but you're good, yes? Thank God it's only not me. She believed that Dr. Saieed Ali would be proud of her elevation in the People's National Movement. Listen to Gatsby.
I think Dr. Rowley has prepared his young people. He calls us his young people. 10 years ago, he took us and gave us responsibility. And I think Dr. Rowley is going to be very proud of the fact that he has raised a cadre of leaders that can take their rightful place now that he has moved on to the organization of the party, the leadership of the party. I think that is very important. And I think he'll be very proud of us.
Now, viewers, with both a female opposition leader, a chairman, Gatsby Dolly, said it was refreshing to see women taking their place. Listen to this.
It is refreshing to see women taking their place, and alongside the men, of course. Politics has always been a male-dominated career, and it is nice to see women taking their place, which is not to say that that is a panacea for success. It really comes down to hard work, commitment, and gender plays a role, yes, but it is not the determining factor, though I am happy to see that type of change.
These positions, being the chairperson and the vice chairperson, are only in term until the party holds its internal election, which is expected to take place within the next few weeks. So if they are selected, all well and good, we wish them all the best. It's a new cabinet, some new faces, a new change for Trinidad and Tobago. As I say, it's refreshing to see new people in new position. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from Gonzalez, who said it's a disgrace with the PM's crime plan. Imagine this, when we come back.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, although many ministers, politicians, party leaders and other opinion align with the views of Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar in her confidence to bring the crime rate down in Trinidad and Tobago, former National Security Minister Marvin Gonzalez begged to differ. A few days UNC have sworn in. Listen good, people. A few days now, today, ministers are still being sworn in. And like I said, people have already been demanding. When Marvin Gonzalez was the Minister of National Security, what did he do to gangs in Trinidad and Tobago? What did he do to make sure our borders were secured? What did he do to get illegal firearms off the streets? What did he do to curb the crime in the community? What did he do to get the cocaine, the marijuana, the human trafficking, the prostitution down? What did Marvin Gonzalez do? This is what I want to know. What did Marvin Gonzalez do? He said crime fighting issue should not be approached by a news headline. Listen to Marvin.
It is far deeper than that, and I would advise the Honorable Prime Minister and the new government to get down to work doing what we must do as a government and as a country to tackle the issue of crime and security in Trinidad and Tobago. If it could have been done in 3 months or 6 months, trust me, that would have been achieved a long time.
All ever hear this brand song? You lie, 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 you lie, yeah, you lie. All ever hear that song? On Christmas time, they play that song? You lie, you lie, you lie, lie, you lie, you lie, you lie. You was here for 5 effing years. What you do? What you did? 2 days are back. 2 days are back. The Ministry of National Security have been sworn in ministers. You were there for 5 years. And you want to talk about 3 months and 6 months? Is that Dante head or what? I ain't telling you that, Saeed. You went in Wassa, where you do? Where you do in Wassa? But you want to come out now to tell a new administration who used to have crime, when they were in power down, you telling them what to do? What the hell? I just swear I'll smoke some kind of rubbish before I'll come to do interviews, you know. I just swear, you know. Speaking to the media on Tuesday, he also wished the new Ministry of Homeland Security and Defense all the best. Listen to this.
I would withhold my personal opinion on the two gentlemen. Safe to say that as a former Minister of National Security and as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, I wish both of them very well in their tenure, because I think if they are successful, then we as a country would be very successful and we will benefit from their success.
So speaking to the media was former Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Dr. Amory Brown, who gave a controversial statement on newly appointed Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers. Listen to this.
I think they could have done worse. Looking at this election stuff, I really want to wish him the best. You know, the ministry has done a lot of work in recent years, and I really would wish that he would analyze what the foundation that he would have met, just as I did when I entered that office.
Let me tell you something. Apparently none of them had nothing good to say. Apparently none of them ain't have nothing good to say. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, former Minister Amory Brown. So where was Amory Brown? And where was Dan Paul, who's the ambassador to UK for Trinidad and Tobago? Where were these two ministers when the UK decide to do what? Put a visa on the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to enter the UK. Where were these two men? Where were these two men? Or did didn't know the UK was going to impose visa, but Faris Al-Rawi could have told you that in 2024. Let me hear you. Let me hear all your Trinidadians. Faris could have told you that 2-3 years back that they were expecting it. I played the clip for you all right here on Real Talk. Right here on Real Talk, I played the clip for you all. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program. And those people like Gonzalez and Gaspidoli and Sindura Sagram Singh, well, she admits she says she's disappointed, but she's not ashamed. If you're not ashamed, then you're shameless. So all of them is the same thing, but I want them also to acknowledge that they're not ashamed of what happened. They are disgrace to this society like Gonzalez. Yeah. Good night, Mr. Said. You hear me now? You hear me?
I hear you.
All right. Good night, Mr. Said. Yes. And I'm getting a feedback.
You go ahead. I'm listening.
All right. Oh, okay. I'm getting a feedback on your program. Yes. So waste of time, Gonzalez. He's a disgrace to this country, disgrace to this society. All should leave this country. You were there. You did nothing good for this country. You was in national security. You was in WASA. Nothing improved. So these people are disgrace to this society. And Dolly, you should apologize to this nation. You was boasting and telling people to shut up, the opposition, and have to shut up because you all have the majority in Parliament.
Correct.
I don't know if you remember that, and the citizen of this country. She said, we have the majority in Parliament here. You all shut up on that side. You is a disgraceful lady, and you should apologize to this nation before we move forward. You did nothing for education. You destroyed education. Anyway, Mr. Said, I want the citizens of this country and all those people who discriminated against people, look at the Parliament today. Look at the cabinet. Look at the government. You see just what the national anthem reflects. Every creed and race find an equal place.
Correct.
That is what we want to see in this nation. When the police service, the defense force, the hospitals, well, the doctors, that's the only, in that category, a doctor will see a reflection. This is what we want to see throughout this country today, a reflection of the national anthem. And I hope the government is going to deal with it and question all of them. And to the Minister of Rural Development, Ms. Khadija Amin, I want to ask you a question. If you was happy when you went in there and saw what you see there, not a jot to reflect the national anthem and find out what is their role and function. Their role and function was to find place in rural development, destroy this country, to bring their supporters and put them there to contaminate villages and communities that have a particular culture and behavior. So you have some work to do, Ms. Amin, and I wish you all the best in your position. Congratulations. So, Mr. Said, you keep up this great work you are doing. We will succeed in this country, and this country will become a great society. Thank you. God bless you and your staff.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, Brown said he hopes the new minister recognizes the vital role the ministry plays in the nation and can rise to the occasion when necessary. Sometimes I just wonder what kind of advice these ministers given who was there for almost 10 years and did what? Just collect money and roll in nice vehicle, travel around the world, eat in fancy hotel with taxpayers' money. Now they come and take up advice. Listen to this.
A Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in our case a Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, is a very important facet of connecting Trinidad and Tobago to key partners and elements overseas. And seized with that responsibility and that weight, I am hopeful that he will rise to the occasion, fill the space with something authentic, something meaningful and of value to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So it's really genuine best wishes.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this, Gatsby Dolly, she said she received reports of delays in contract renewal for some student support staff, such as school counselors and social workers. Listen to Gatsby Dolly. We go black after.
I have been told by a number of officers that they are awaiting the contract renewal. So it's a very important thing, and I would love the Minister to speak on it, whether we are starting the new term with a deficit of social workers and guidance counselors in the schools, because the police officers do not fulfill that function. So it has to be supported, and so I am, of course, at the education sector, I wish the initiatives the best, because it is our children. I still have a child in the education system, so I want what happens to work. However, because of my experience, I understand that if you don't put certain inputs, you will not get the right output.
Because of your experience. Gatsby Dolly has made me laugh, yes? Yes, make me laugh. So what I would like to know, Trinidad and Tobago, is that these contracts, student support staff contract, when did these contracts come to an end? These counselors and social worker contract, when did it come to an end? Last year? Year before? Because I'll tell you something, it's only about 4 months now this government in power. It's only about 4 months now, and Gatsby Dolly now getting called. So what Gatsby Dolly should have said, well, you know, viewers, in January or February or August, contract was supposed to renew. But she didn't say that. You're hearing and you're hearing and you're hearing, but what exactly was it this that you're hearing? We hope it don't fall back when you was in power, because you're going to be like Klong and them. Yapping your gum. Gatsby Dolly also criticized the government on delay in distributing school supplies and book grant, and promised to deliver laptops and tablets to students, saying that these timelines are unrealistic. She is asking for answers. Look who asking for answers. Look who asking for answers. Gatsby Dolly, a former Minister of Education. Ask Gatsby Dolly what she did in 9 years for the realistic schools and the realistic violence and the realistic students. What did she do to enhance the education sector in Trinidad and Tobago? Listen to this, viewers.
So the question really is for me, understanding what the minister's actual timeline is, because obviously those promises are not going to be kept. So I would like to know, I asked the question, I didn't get any responses with regards to what is the process, where are you in the process, has the procurement been done, how was that done, who is the supplier, at what stage is it at? These are questions that you're not getting any specific answers to. What you're getting is these general promises of when it will be done, which I know are unrealistic. So we really would like, and the public would like, my constituents would like to know, what are the actual timelines that are going to be kept with regards to these grants. We are at the end of the holiday, to which a week was added, and we are still not there.
And this is why I'm saying, Gatsby Dolly, you there for 9 years. Come out and tell Trinidad and Tobago now. Gatsby Dolly, now you're getting the opportunity. Now you're getting the opportunity to tell Trinidad and Tobago and to tell Dowlat what you did for education in Trinidad and Tobago. Print your list, print your book, print your page, and come out, call the media. I will be there too. Call the media and sit down and say, you know what? In year 1 of me being in Parliament, I did this. And year 2 I did that. And year 3 I did this. And year 4 I did that. And it goes straight down to the 9 years it was there. Gatsby Dolly, can you do that for Trinidad and Tobago? Can you do that for Trinidad and Tobago? I brought out this policy. I brought out that policy. I brought out the other policy. Come now, man. All I want is yap and yap and yap. But what we want is concrete evidence. What you did. 9 years now I'm on TV, Gatsby Dolly. 9 years. So I want to see your 9 years of work for the schools. And you're good? If you could come out and do that Gatsby Dolly, let me tell you something. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and I would give you a round of applause. We would literally tell you, well done. You're up for that challenge? Because right now people don't want to hear you concerning school education. They don't want to hear you. She's asking for answers. Nevertheless. Gatsby also reject any suggestion and delays were due to funding issues. But all you always saying tighten the belt, all you have no money. Gatsby Dolly, you say funding. Don't blame a delay in funding issues. Clungenberg come out recently and tell Trinidad and Tobago this government broke. Alright, that is one. Earlier, run Trinidad for 9 years. What was the other problem? Kid Rowley always saying tighten your belt, tighten your belt, tighten your belt. So if Kid Rowley ball and tighten your belt for 9 years, and Clungenberg recently said his government have no money, how the hell you could come out and tell the public now that you reject any suggestion the delays were due to funding issue? Gatsby, all it is only make all yourself clowns and fools. Because this is how the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago is look at all here. Dr. Rowley, tighten your belt for 9 years. Wean off the government. Clungenberg recently said this government has no money. Now you, Gatsby Dolly, on the other side now saying don't blame the issues for funding issues. All make up all your mind. I am here to tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago what all you said. And to put all in all place. And to open the eyes and the ears of our citizens in this country. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed. Great program, great topic. Thank God for people as you, knowledgeable people in this country, intelligent and educated people like yourself and many others who call your program and many others who don't even call your program. So I will utter Gatsby Dolly should be ashamed of herself to even appear on television.
Correct.
Because her agenda in education was to destroy education, totally destroy education. Look at the young man who got the President Award from Naparima Boys College in San Fernando. Congratulations to you, my boy. I hope you continue to succeed well. like those things, they suppress that and wouldn't use it to motivate other children.
Correct.
I used to use it to motivate my children. I say, look at this boy, look at this one, how successful they are. They hide that even the first 5 children in the C exam, all these things, they hide it. Shame on you, Gatsby Dolly. You try to destroy education. So, but I want police to go in the school fully armed. They must have tear gas. They must have everything on them. You have to instill fear on these no-good miscreants who go there to ensure that the students who want to study do not study. Right? So, Mr. Said, today the police, next week school is reopening here, today the police had roadblocks throughout this country in the south. Anyway, 80% of the operation is south of the Caroni Bridge. From San Fernando, Cookie Roundabout to Rio Claro, they had big exercise. Over 100 police officers with about 30 vehicles. Only looking for criminals. You had 2 persons, a businessman and a pilot kidnapped. We don't know where they are. You call the police station. They didn't respond to the kidnapping of the pilot, very sadly. And you know, when they get to find out who is that police officer, I am certain he will be rewarded for that and promoted. I'm certain it will happen. We have to keep our eyes, because this is where policing is. Look at today, Friday, you all come out to ticket. Man, I'm so angry. The ticket system like that on the Petit Cafe Junction, they stopped me and all, but thank God I had my vehicle in order and whatnot. Come on, you all are real hooligans to your citizens, your fellow citizens in this country. Gavarro, get a hold of it and fight crime. Every day is kidnapping, home invasion, fight crime. Mr. Said, you keep up the great work here, man. God will bless you. This country will fix you, Thank you very much, Mr. Said.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, listen to this, She said her administration advocated for a means-test approach to device distribution and noted that under the PNM, laptops were given based on financial needs. Gatsby Dolly, wasn't you the one who said that you had to do a means test to get a laptop? Gatsby Dolly, didn't you say that? But I find it strange, all of a sudden you say financial need. No, we're going to Dowlett now. On August 25th, the Ministry of Education said grants were being distributed or disbursed in phases with 5,248 payments made and 14,752 scheduled for completion by September 5th. By September 5th. So the only way now we are going to rate Dowlett, we have to wait until September 5th. And then we would know if his words came to pass or there's a delay. Or that we cannot say anything. I cannot judge. I cannot condemn. I cannot abuse. No, I cannot say anything until the 5th of September. And that is when we are going to know if his words will stand or fall. Thus far, viewers, he said that they are going to put police officers in school, and it came to pass. So a question for tonight to Gatsby Dolly, former Minister of Education. What did you and your administration do to combat all school violence and bullying in school for the 9 years you all was in office? Gatsby Dolly, that's for you to answer. Like I said, you want to challenge Dowlett? Dowlett was a former principal, I believe. So if you want to challenge him, Gatsby Dolly, he now start his ministry. He still have 5 years to go. So what you should do, Gatsby Dolly, is do a book of everything and proof, evidence, and come and show it to the public. Show the public what you do. You see, Clangenberg show the public what he did. After 9 years of being in power, after 9 years of being the Minister of Finance, after 9 years, he cannot say how much money he puts in central bank as growth for Trinidad and Tobago. But come now, as a few months, UNC in power to tell Trinidad and Tobago that this government has no money. If you leave no money in the treasury, how the government go have money? Common sense. If your mother make no breakfast and put it on the table, how you go eat breakfast? You have to make it yourself. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we go hear some more from Larry Hawaii concerning the forex measures being put in place by Central Bank when we return.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real public concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So welcome back, viewers. Remember, Real Talk Financing is offering you 6% on our fixed deposit, viewers, interest up front for the month of September. Remember that, 6%. So instead of you getting, if you invest 100,000, instead of you getting 5% per year, which is 25,000 at the end of 5 years, you're going to get 30,000. 30,000. All because of the fact that we are in the 63rd year of independence, viewers, Real Talk Financing have decided to do this just for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, like I said, if you invest 100,000 for 5 years, with the interest up front on the normal 5%, you will get 25,000. Right? Now, with the new increase of 6%, you're getting 30,000 instead of 25,000. Imagine that. I mean, you have your taxes to pay, but oh gosh, all financial institutions have tax to pay. All. So Trinidad and Tobago, our numbers are on screen. Remember, call us, set up an appointment, come in, the documents, everything, and boom. 14 days time, the office is going to call you. You're going to get your interest, and you're going to be comfortable and happy. Remember, this is upfront interest, you know. Upfront. You had to wait 5 and 10 years, you know. 14 days time, you're getting a check with your interest. Remember that. It's only Real Talk Financing, viewers, and investment does these kind of thing. You know why? Because we are solid. Me having 30 years of experience in finance and being an accountant also, Trinidad, we're growing. This is the oldest institution that is actually giving investors something solid and good in return. Go in any financial institution and see what you're getting and compare them to us. That is what I am telling you on a live program. Check your bank, check your credit union. See what kind of interest you're getting, when you're getting, how you're getting it. And then compare them to us. So, news tonight. Central Bank Governor Larry Hawaii has stated that measures are being actively examined to address the foreign exchange forex shortage in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, he is now encouraging people to bank their foreign exchange in local banks. Is one of the goals that Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago is looking to implement in the near future. How can we bank our money in Trinidad when we can't even get our own money? This is one of the questions I have to ask. How? You want to encourage us to bank our own money, the US dollar in Trinidad and Tobago in the local bank, but when you go over the counter, businessman like me now, I gain 200. How that happening, Larry? If you could tell me how this fixing, well then maybe I will start banking US currency in Trinidad and Tobago banks. Now, how I said, it takes about US $6 billion annually to sustain the local foreign exchange market. But that figure does not meet the full demand of forex. Listen to this.
And we have to find ways to incentivize people to move the gray market into the normal market, and of course the black market into the normal market. And those are initiatives that I've only started to consider over the last couple of months, how we start dealing with some of these things. In addition to the normal monetary policy initiatives that we have to implement to deal with the situation that we face right now.
He noted that annually the central bank provides about US $2 billion to the local banking sector to help meet the forex shortfall. In addition to encouraging foreign exchange earner to bank their money in local banks, Mr. Hawaii offered another method to help meet the local demand of forex. Listen to this.
Is to determine how each one of us can become foreign exchange earners. The fact of the matter is that as our oil and gas goes down and becomes less and less, more and more we are each going to have to face the challenge of how do we meet the foreign exchange requirements of the country as a whole.
Let me tell you something. That plan will take a little while. That plan will take a little while. Now you want to encourage, let me talk on behalf of the business sector. As a businessman, I have US currency in the bank. Now when I go to the counter now, if I go into the US now, all I getting is 200. I have to go in the bank 5 days to line up for 200 a day. 200 at Trinidad and Tobago. You know why I am saying this? Because I experienced it myself. I hear people talking, oh, you have to go in the bank every day to get a little 100, to get a 200. I say, serious? I say, okay, no problem. I got up a morning, organized, went to the bank. 7:45, I in the bank, line up outside, on a line, first 10 people. When you went in out to the teller, well, you know, I put up my name for some 4,000 US. I want to travel, I want to do a little business, so I come to withdraw 1,000 US. Well, you know, Mr. Ali, the most you can get is 200. You know, you will have to come to line up tomorrow morning to get another 200. Really? Really? I'm a businessman. I had to go 5 days to line up in the bank to get $1,000. Make that make sense. My own money in the bank. But then Hawaii, on the other side, telling us to bank our money in the local banks. You see, we need to, before you say something like this, You need to come out and tell the people. You and your team need to formalize strategies before you come out and say, well, you know, we want to let the bank all the money down here. Okay, so can we get 5,000 when we go in? Well, you know, that could be a problem. That is the problem right there. And that is the problem right there. We can't get the cash. And another thing is in Trinidad and Tobago, I'll tell you this, in the banking sector. Let me tell you something now. I went to open a bank account, and I swear to God that I had to wake up my dead mother and my dead grandmother to sign documents. It's ridiculous. When I go to the US, hey, watch man, 2 pieces of evidence, 3 pieces of evidence, and you open a US bank account, you know. I telling all from experience. Your passport, your ID card, and proof of your address in the US, and that's it. You open your account. You feel like talking about hearsay? No. I am talking from experience. Your passport, your ID card, and proof of your address in the US, and you have a US bank account in front of you. So something needs to be done concerning the banking sector when it comes to opening an account. Because it's too ridiculous. Too much unnecessary, unwanted documents. And I decided to talk about it tonight. It's ridiculous. It's over ridiculous. Your ID card will show that you are a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Your driver's permit will show that you are a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Your passport will show that you are a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Your job letter will show where you're working. Your proof of address will show where you're staying. Where you want again? My dead grandmother had to come and sign a document. My dead grandfather, who did about 30 years now, he had to come and sign a document. My grandfather from India had to come and sign a document. And it goes on and on and on. We are citizens of this country. The banks are in this country. And why is it so ridiculous? Is it that we always had to remain in the third world country? We always had to be treated like some, I really want to say it, you know, but some idiots. And when we see other countries doing better, it's like, wow, I want to go there and work. Really? Like we stupid. We dotish in Trinidad. But nevertheless, viewers, I've come to the end of our program tonight. It's a pleasure being here every night. Our rerun of this program is Monday morning coming. From 11:30 to 12:30, we'll be back here Monday night for Real Talk with Saieed, another live show. Until then, enjoy your weekend. Be good.